Oh, wow. Good morning, everyone. Oh, you're all here just all of a sudden. Wow. Um, just because I am working with a different kind of system, can y'all hear me okay? Um, hi, Jacqueline and Laura and Beth and Lisa and Erin and Becky, Journey, Kathy. Oh, good. All right. Everything is good. It's I'm still using my phone to stream through, and so everything is just still a little bit um, wonky. It changes depending upon what I'm doing. So, hi, Bishop, to me. I'm not sure. I don't know a name, but welcome, welcome. And Deborah and Kathy and Melissa. I'm going to give everybody just a few minutes to come on over from Becky's. I will tell you my prompt, and I'll tell you again, my prompt is stencils and stenciling. And unfortunately, because I had to work this morning, and so I've been up working for the last couple hours instead of playing, uh, I have blank paper. So I talked to Meri about this, and she said that was okay. So uh, I have blank paper. But hi, Pin. Um, Renee, Anna, Ann. Um, guys, the chat is moving really fast. I seriously doubt I'm going to be able to keep up with it. Oh, you guys, I hope you're having all fun this morning. I did peek at Beth's and peek at Becky's, so I know where they were at and what they were doing. Um, I saw Beth's background and Becky's hearts that she added. Hi, Candy. Hi, Brittany. Arlene. Susan. Good morning. Good morning. I'm just going to wait till 7:10 and then we'll get started. Um, oh, I have fuzzies all over my stencil somehow. Miss Gigi. Good morning, everybody. Imelda's here. I'm working on my second bottle of water, and yes, it's water, not tea. Yes, it might be easier to see the stencil with something else besides white. It will be easier to see what I'm going to do, and I'm going to show you multiple ways of doing this stencil, of using this stencil. Good morning, Kimberly. Because I knew that I wasn't going to have a background and everything all ready to show you, I chose that. Hi, Teresa. It's not Teresa, it's Therese. It's Therese. And Tina, I'm going to show you multiple ways to use your stencil. Okay. So I think sometimes what happens is we get in a sort of a plan as to how to use our stencils instead of using them in multiple ways. So a big mason jar of orange cranberry juice. There you go. I haven't gotten that far yet. Breakfast will come later. Just because I've been up for a while does not mean I've eaten or anything like that. So we have my clock says we have 1 minute. So I guess I'm going to go ahead and start. We get in a rut, as my mom would say. Yes, Lisa, we get in a rut. So I'm going to show you one of the simplest ways. Well, I was going to. I can't find my pen. This, by the way, is a Dollar Tree stencil. Okay, it's just a simple. That doesn't work very well. There you go. It was something new that I found at Dollar Tree. So it cost a whole dollar, and it has hearts on it. So it was perfect for this hop. What is this hop? I saw it's a pig 10. Does everyone do a different step in the pig 10? Yes, Brittany. Unfortunately, my paper is blank. But Beth Schuler this morning, she did a background, and I caught the very last few minutes of it, Beth. And Beth had, it looked like layers of paper and paint. Then Becky, AuntBecscreations, she just added some really cute punched hearts on top of her background. Yep, and so pen, yes, a whole $1, so it broke the bank. So one of the first ways that we forget about using our stencils is to draw. Just simply take a pen and use the stencil to outline a design. And in this way, kind of are doodling, but you're doodling with something that is more precise. And I'm using a micron pen. Oops, I slid. And I'm doing it really fast, so I think there's a boo-boo in there, just so y'all know. Partially because I like these pens. They don't bleed through a substrate if you've got a thin substrate, but they're permanent if you want to go back over. Hi, Jared. Hi, Teresa. As long as these pens are dry, you can go over that with a wet medium. Okay, so this is one of the reasons that 3 stencils. Hi, Linda. Yeah, pen, it's just like, it's one of those things we forget. We can just draw around our stencils and use it that way. Now, one of my favorite ways is to use ink. And there again, we want to think about what we're going to use, especially if we're doing a pick 10, what kind of medium we use for ink. If we're using an ink that is dye-based, it will bleed if we go over it with something. But if we use archival ink, there again, once it's dry, it will, you can go right over it with another medium. So ink is a really, really good way to use. Hi, Mary. I got started to use your stencils. I like to use ink simply because it's fast, it's easy. I am not as good with paint, but that's another way you can use your stencil, is to use paint. We're gonna think we'll pick the same one. Now, the thing about paint is that if you use paint, it's got to dry before you can go on to the next step. Hi, Janet. Thanks, Melissa. It is a cool stencil, and especially for $1. It's one of those really good, well, it was a good buy. Let's just put it that way. Now, if you use paint, you want to not have very much paint on your sponge. And I'm not very good at this, just so you know. Paint is one of those things that, to me, always seems to eke underneath the stencil. So I would rather use ink than paint. but you can get a really nice design with paint. Yeah, oh, yes, it's afternoon for Janet, isn't it? Now, only because we have to worry about get my hands in it today, I'm going to clean the paint off of that stencil. I normally don't worry about it. But I don't want to get my hands in it in a minute. And these are really wet wipes. Okay, we're going to set that up there for a minute. Okay. I just want to say good morning to everybody who's come in. Hi, Allison. I'm so glad you're all here. Now, another way to use ink on the stencils is with the stencils is to use we're going to use ink that does not dry. Good. Duh. Tanya's lost her words. Mystery number 3. Ooh, Mary's got the mystery number 3. The treasure Meri found was a guide to urban sketching in small towns. It had been altered by someone. Very creative. How was it altered? Continued on the next stream. Yay! So this time we're going to take our ink. And I don't know, we probably could just, we're going to try it a couple of ways. Let's get another piece of paper. Let's see what happens if we just do that. Don't know. That's a lot of ink. Now remember, this is dye-based ink. This is water-soluble. Washes out. Okay, Arlene, have a good breakfast. We want to let that dry, so we're going to set that aside for a second. Remember, that's water-soluble ink. And I'm going to show you another. Let's try this one. These are sprays. So we can spray, and that's there again. This, oh, that's good. This one's never been opened. Oh, these are the things that you don't use. This spraying through the stencil, I think we all think about a little bit. Oh, good. That's got a lot of ink. Let's clean it up a little bit before we pick up the stencil. That. Now, distress ink is water soluble. So if I were to go over that in a Pick 10 with something else, it's going to bleed. So if you want to use sprays on a pig 10, you need to think about and use an acrylic spray. These are from Marabou Art. They're acrylic sprays. And the reason I didn't spray with it this morning is because a lot of my sprayers are clogged up and I didn't want to fight with it. So think about if you use a spray to do a stencil, this one is water soluble. In a Pick 10, that may not be the thing you want. You may need something that's less water soluble. Yeah, it made good splatter. I agree. And it's nice and full, so. Okay. How many ways is that so far? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this is really fun. We're going to take a nice, we wanted to let that dry just a little bit. We're going to take a nice wet baby wipe. And rub it into our stencil. Now you might not want to pick one with tiny, tiny holes in it. You might want to pick one with larger holes. Let's pick another one. That was a good one. Let's pick this one. Frankly, it works better when you don't have as much ink on there. Now, the problem with this one is it's not going to work with your permanent inks. So there again, if you're doing a Pick 10 and this stenciling is in the middle, you may lose some of your, what do I want to say? Some of your pattern when you layer over the top of it. Thanks, Susan. Let's see. I'm just reading chat, guys, just real quick. So that I like this technique. It's a lot of fun and it works really well for different parts of your things. Hi, Peter. Just remember that that's got to be a water-based ink to do it. Okay. Clean up my hand, throw that away. Now we're going to use a fun tool. We're going to use a lovely white crayon. I think we'll pick this one because we haven't used it. It's feeling neglected, okay? This little heart is feeling neglected. And I am just outlining the design with my white crayon. Uh-oh. The reason this one feels neglected is because Tanya doesn't like it as well. The little pieces in the middle want to move. Okay, I know you can't see anything, but you guys know what's going to happen. Now, the white crayon's not going to come up in a Pick 10. And if you use a permanent ink, you get your design. Now, this is fun too. Let's do another one. Let's do this one. If you color more of your design, now don't forget that if you missed parts 1 and 2, I'm part 3, that Beth and Becky's videos will both be there for you to pop back in and watch the first parts of the Pick 10. Who's after me? Meri, I'm not sure. Uh-oh, what's wrong? Meri's needing to calm down and take a few breaths. Meri's next. Meri is next. Thank you, Meri. I'm sorry, I didn't know. I knew I should know. I can't remember. It's been one of those weeks. Now, you can also do this with paint. I'm just going to do ink because it's easier. But see, when you color in your design, you get more of it. And there again, this is permanent on a Pick 10. She said take a few breaths because at crayons. At crayons. Yeah, see? Now, you could use, I use the white one, okay? You could use a different colored crayon. Okay, let's just do something simple because for time's sake, I'm really kind of rushing is the deal. Not sure exactly where I stand on time. The big thing you have to think about with Pick 10s, I think, is that, or Dirty Dozens, either one, is that whatever you do, if you want it to not bleed into the next layer, you have to choose mediums that are permanent so that as they dry, they remain permanent. Okay. Say, ooh, crayons. Now, that's red crayon. Ooh, that paint's icky. Come on. The white paint's going to knock it back. But you could go over it with just about anything. That's cameo pink. That's a perfectly good Valentine color, don't we think? And see, as you wipe it away, the wax just resists everything. So you get something totally different when you use a red crayon over a white crayon. Thank you, Susan. Okay. Let me see if I can get through the next couple. We're going to do this other one because it's not as messy. This is another thing that I didn't actually try, but I think it's going to work just real fun. Meri, these are water-soluble crayons, and they are just an inexpensive. Now, I have Marabou art crayons, but I wanted to use something that was not quite so hard to get. And these you can get most places that you get kids crayon stuff. They're a Crayola watercolor crayon. They are not my favorite by any means, but they're a water soluble medium. So, oops, there's stuff on my mat. I'm getting a texture. Ooh, okay. Ooh. That's something Lisa did the other night, and it should work. Let's do it with a regular crayon. Now this is cardstock, guys. It's not paper, it's not fabric, it's cardstock. And that's just a regular crayon on cardstock, but I put the stencil under it. Instead of on top, so you get a different effect. But I like that. I like that a lot. So, okay, now with the water-soluble crayons, we can do very much the same thing we did with the water-soluble ink. And like I said, they make water-soluble art crayons are pretty common. Marabou makes them. Recollections makes some. They used to have distress crayons. Would oil pastels work? Allison, since I don't play with pastels, but their oil pastels are not water soluble, but chalk pastels would. Wetted chalk ones in the stencil, and they're permanent when dried. Susan's comment is down below, and pastels are not something I've worked with, so I don't want to tell you yes or no. Oh, that worked really well. Pencils and pennies as a child. Yes, you could scribble over the top. They're Neocolor 2 are, yes, Neocolor 2s. What are those other ones? Oh, there's another one, guys. They're like the Neo Color 2s. They're just a water soluble. A watercolor stick. It's thank you, Becky. I have one more thing to show you, so that's good. Oh, gelatos. Oh, gelatos. Sorry. Thank you, Candy. Gelatos. It just would not come. Gelatos. This is like a gelato in many respects. This has got more wax in it. It's more, has more body. Scribble sticks. Yes, scribble sticks. Any of those things that are water soluble, woodies would probably work really fun. No, let's try a tiny little bit with my water soluble pencils. We may not get to the last thing, but I'll bet y'all know how to use texture. This is my Derwent Inktense pencil. Now, once these are dry, they're permanent, but you have to wet the entire thing. So that may be where it wouldn't work in a Pick 10. Okay. Let's do this one. It's kind of fancy. It's a little different than, it doesn't pick up so much as bleeds out. So it doesn't work as well, but it still works. Okay, I probably only have like 1 or 2 minutes left. I'm going to do one last little thing. I'm sure y'all have thought about it and have done this before. I'm going to use, this is Dimension. I didn't have any actual texture paste. This is about the best I have as far as texture paste goes. Come on, I know you've been off of there. Okay, so it's back on. There we go. And that is to use dimensional paste or texture paste. Oh, that's very sticky. Ugh. And push it through the stencil, and then you get texture from it. This is going to be like concrete when I get it done. Now, one of the things you don't want to do is leave texture paste on your stencil. Do clean it up. How we doing? I think I got like 2 minutes left. Would you say this is old? It's kind of like you're using clay. All righty. And when you take the stencil off, then you actually get texture on your stencil. So that is, if stencil comes up and you have to do it and you're doing it in a Pick 10 and it's on a bottom layer, remember to think and use your non-water soluble mediums. And I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you're having fun with the hop. Please remember that Beth and Becky's videos are out there. When this goes up live, I will be putting the links all down in the description box below. I couldn't do it ahead of time, but I will make sure that the channel links are down below. We are headed over to Meri's now, so hop on over to Meri. We'll see you over there. I've got to go back to work. Love y'all. Bye-bye.